Hey you guys, it's Mike. Welcome to Art by Plopless YouTube channel. I'm always good at putting things in order for the most part, except for these videos. So I'm gonna be backtracking a little bit, and I think it's probably a good idea to do that because I didn't make much sense in the first couple of videos. I did my best, but like I said, I'll get better as time goes along, I hope. So I got this project that I kind of set up when I started the first series of videos featuring steamroll. This one is a 30 by 50 inch stretcher frame. So I did two of them, and I'm intent on trying to demonstrate one, how to stretch a canvas with this, but also stretching it painted. So stretching and painting is a little bit different than stretching just a raw canvas or a primed canvas or a pre-prepared canvas where there's a primer on the surface. And I didn't really talk about the material very much, and I think that was a big mistake because really there are other material options. I just wanted to give the least expensive option that you could choose, and then the simplest method. So I want to talk about this a little bit more closely now. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the wood real quick. So any hardware store, any lumber yard, any construction supplies store will have what's called wood slats, and these particular ones are made with poplar. So it's a really inexpensive 8-foot length. At times you can get it for as little as $3 a stick. This was, I think, $3.50 a stick, and I bought it in a bundle of 6. And they're strapped together. The nice thing about them being strapped together is they do hold their shape. So looking at it close up though, there's rounded or eased edges all the way around. And they're really kind of lightweight, and I like that. These particular ones are kiln dried, so they resist warping a little bit more too, which is important. So when I cut my lengths for the stretcher bars, that includes the stretcher frame, or that is the stretcher frame. For the outside edge, I create this profile. It's about 3/8 of an inch thick, and it has just a simple design that the canvas itself rests on this surface. So the surface doesn't have a lot of contact with the canvas itself. If you have it just a square edge, and I've learned this from experience, if you have just a squared edge like this edge, if the canvas is wrapped around this way, this edge will eventually show on the canvas surface because of the tension and stress. So all I do is I'll take the first pass, I'll run it through the table saw this way first, then I'll lay it on beam or lay it on a flat edge, and then I'll run it through this way, and it creates just a simple notch. Then in the next stage, after I've assembled, I'll just sand this edge a little bit to ease it, and then the outside corners of the frame. And there's really a nice, smooth, receptive edge for stretching your own canvases. So it's a simple design, and I'll show you more about the construction of it here on the table. So both these canvases are built the same way. And the design allows for you to have some kind of tension and flexibility as well. These are really, really sturdy, really hard surface frames. I can get a good stretch on these because there's plenty of support. These are not adjustable like a high-end quality stretcher frame. There's no key holes for you to get expansion on the frame after you've stretched. Sometimes bigger pieces really do require some adjustment. But I put so much tension on this canvas. I mean, you can see it maintains a pretty healthy tension throughout. And there's not a lot of stress on the edges with the painting or with the canvas as well. Okay, using this slat wood, the poplar slat wood, it was pretty simple to kind of tackle the construction of them. So being that I was making 2 frames at the same time, I cut 4 lengths, these lengths, all at the same time. I wanted them to have equal weight, so I made sure that they were all cut exactly at the same time with the chop saw, with the miter saw. Then these interior pieces, I made sure these were all cut to the same size at the same time, so that they would be more the same weight. And then this piece went dead center between the corners, so that there's balance in the frame. If I'm hanging this frame, this should be the center and it shouldn't want to tilt one way or another. So that's a consideration when you're building frames. And with this simple design, you can achieve that. All I've done is I've applied the primate glue on the ends, and I actually just nailed these with 18-inch gauge or 18 gauge 2-inch brad nails. Nothing fancy. Now you see it's like it's a pretty durable frame. I'm gonna kind of step on one side, twist it and turn it, and you can get a lot of movement out of these frames. They're really sturdy design. So don't be afraid, or don't think that you have to buy, you know, big dollar stretcher bars and stretcher frames. You don't have to do that. Not at least starting out, you know, like me. So if you don't have a brad nailer, I have, and I haven't in the past. Or, you know, so what I would do is I would drill pilot holes and I would use 2-inch screws. And it was actually almost easier than nailing it a lot of times. So there's a couple other little details in the frame construction that I thought I should talk about. You want to maintain space back here just to give yourself a little bit of working room. So what I do is I'll lay a piece of scrap underneath it as a spacer, and then I nail them as I complete my measurements. So the reason being, when you're actually stretching the canvas, you want to have room to actually make sure you get the canvas ply enough pivot point or enough pivot room so that you can pull a good stretch there right in the middle and then on your corners as well. I have made the mistake in the past of being too far back, and it does make it difficult. So a little tip from me to you. So like I said, with these paintings, I'm going to try to demonstrate how to stretch a canvas on or how to paint on a stretched canvas, I guess, and then paint off the canvas and then stretch it. So this one's going to be kind of I guess a bunch of parts series. And there you go. So I really dig how Steamrolled turned out. There's a couple little things I want to touch up, a couple of little spots I want to maybe highlight, but for the most part, I think I'm done with it. It's been an interesting journey on this painting, and I learned a lot. But I appreciate everybody following me on this one, and hopefully the paintings that I'm able to put out in the future, you'll be able to appreciate as well. So thanks you guys for following me.